Hi everybody, it's Fiona May from Women on Transition. I'm speaking to a beautiful client today. Her name's Nieves from New South Wales. So how are you, beautiful?
Hey Fiona.
So where were you? Let's hear about your story. Where were you a few months ago when we met and first had a chat?
Oh, Fiona, like many of the ladies that you speak to, at the very outset, I was going through, about to face a divorce process after a 30-year marriage, and the marriage ended in pretty ugly circumstances. Again, most of the ladies that join the group have their own story to share on that front, and I think many of us find that as we join the Shine group that we have a lot of points of similarity in the experiences that we've had. And I think for me, that was one of the beauties of the first discussion you and I had, that what I was saying really resonated with what you were telling me. The group that I was about to join was going to understand and empathise with at a very personal level, and that's certainly what I found, that the women who joined the group had similar circumstances, had very similar stories with their own individual circumstances. However, the one thing that drew us together, or the one thing that united us, was a desire to reframe that negative experience that we had gone through as individuals, but together to reframe and find ways of building ourselves up so that we could face those challenges in as constructive and positive a way as possible, so that we came out of it stronger, and not just intact, but stronger through the process. So, so that's certainly where I was at when I first met you. I was feeling vulnerable. I was feeling deflated. I was feeling like, how could I ever regain my confidence and be where I was prior to the divorce process, or not even the divorce at that stage, it was a separation. And how can I face divorce by myself? How can I deal with the negotiation that comes with financial settlement, etc.? And how will I cope afterwards, given, all of those things that I was about to face?
Yeah, 30 years is a long time, 28 years for me. And, it's more than half our life in most instances, what we've, been married. And I know for most of the ladies I work with, they feel that they lost themselves along the way, that, they've looked after everybody else and put everybody else before themselves. And when this happens, and for a lot of us, it's out of the blue, it's like you've got to go back and find who you are again. And so many ladies say that they're lost. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, certainly lost. And I suppose self-confidence was battered. The fact that we had spent 30 years together, 5 years prior to being married. We'd raised two highly capable women in that period of time. We'd built a significant asset base. All of those things were so positive. And then, to be left for, in my case, a much, much, much younger woman, feel the personal rejection that came with that. And, question yourself as to whether you had done enough to keep that marriage together, whether you had done enough to make that man happy, whether you were enough, all of those questions. And certainly they're the questions that the program helped me unpack and helped me rebuild who I wanted to be in this newfound situation that I was. Who did I want to be? Now the power was back in my hands. How did I want to present in the world? How did I want to appear? How did I want to be perceived by others? Who was I now? And so that was a really important part of the course for me.
Yeah, excellent. And, you know, what did you discover? What did you discover about yourself that you'd forgotten? Because you're a smart, switched on lady. You work in a professional capacity and you're very strong and smart and capable at work. And yet sometimes we forget just how amazing we are, don't we? And, you know, we doubt ourselves. And when our relationships fall and, you know, break down, we start to question who we are, if anybody's going to want us again. Are we going to be able to be happy again? You know, what's our future look like? And the reality for a lot of ladies is they knew what their past was. They were comfortable with their past. They were comfortable in their relationship or, you know, with their partner. Even if they both weren't truly happy, it was familiar. When it's taken away, all we see in front of us is the unfamiliar, and it's really quite scary. And for a lot of ladies, they just don't want to go there. They don't want to even think about it because it's too scary. But part of us creating our beautiful new life is being brave and stepping up. And to do that, we've got to learn and we've got to heal and grow our minds so we know how to, you know, proceed with confidence and find ourselves and trust ourselves. So what did you find in your journey of self-discovery? Because I often say it's your journey home to find yourself.
It's interesting because I think, if anything, it challenged, the program challenged me to relax my own expectations of needing to control the universe. And, you know, like many of my generation, we married young, and you know, you find your way forward by controlling the environment around you, and particularly, you know, for me, both in my personal life and in particular in my career, I became very accustomed to putting everything I had into controlling the environment around me to ensure particular outcomes, even in the business sense, right? So you don't become successful in the context of today's business world unless you do control the environment around you to facilitate outcomes that lead your business in a particular direction or lead you in a particular direction, or your family, etc. And so I'd become expert at that. I'd become very good at that. And what I did learn through the program is that sometimes controlling the environment doesn't make you happier, and controlling the environment doesn't give you those gems of joy that you would otherwise come across if you just let the universe do its thing. And when the universe did its thing and, you know, my marriage fell apart, that rocked me because I didn't have the skills to deal with those sorts of cataclysmic changes that I couldn't control in any way, shape or form, that I just had to accept and adjust. And, you know, that I was adjusting at a time when there was a lot of emotion associated with what was happening. And again, in a business environment, you park emotion, you deal with the circumstances and you don't deal with the emotion. But in this situation, there was no way I could not deal with the emotion because it was central to the environment that was now in front of me. And so what I learned through the program was that accepting what the universe gives you and learning to embrace that unknown and to work with that in a way that builds positive momentum as opposed to feeling overwhelmed by it because you can't control it. That was a really critical learning point for me, and actually taking joy in that unknown and that unpredictability.
Excellent, because, you know, we can know something logically, but we've also got to feel it. And we've got to, you know, a lot of my beautiful driven ladies who are very successful in their careers and they've got all their life in order, you know, when something like this changes their circumstances, it really throws them for a six, because emotionally, you know, that's where they're weaker. You know, they've been very, very good at being a leader, being a driver, you know, logically, analytically, structured, rigid in their outlook. Like that has got them success in their career. But where we've got to, you know, when our base gets broken, emotionally, that we've got to pick ourselves up. We've got to be able to bring in our greatness and our leadership talents and really fix that broken soul. And that means often the journey back home to rediscover who we really are and to see why we have the personality that we do and why we've become the women that we are. And that's a journey of loving ourselves whole and complete, exactly as we are, with all of our greatness, but with all of our limitations as well. And that's the hardest work for anybody to do, because when we can love ourselves with all the pieces of us that we don't think are good enough, then that's true love, that's true acceptance, and that's the journey that you've been on. And so, you know, loving yourself as you do now, you really start to understand that life is totally your oyster, isn't it? You know, you've got the ability to be able to shape the rest of your life exactly as you want, and you don't have to be fearful, because you know that you're so capable. It doesn't matter what life throws at you, you're going to be able to handle it, don't you?
Well, I think that's the critical learning, that and again, to accept that life will go off the rails. And certainly since I finished the actual participation of the course, before we've had a chance to catch up, that's what life's done for me. It's thrown me about 3 or 4 curveballs that have, you know, totally knocked me off the rails again. But I know that I've got the skills and I've got the tools to get back on the rails, because I understand that these are all temporary things that don't impact who I am as a person and who I have built over the period of the 12 weeks of the program. And so although the curveballs have come my way, and they haven't been nice, so that's the truth, they haven't felt good, I've been able to say, that's okay, this is temporary, and I've got the skills to get back on track. And yeah, okay, doesn't feel real good now, but I've got the tools in my toolbox to help me get back and build from where I was, rather than starting all over, which I think is the power of this. And I think the other key learning for me is that just because you do the course doesn't mean it's going to be all lovely and wonderful forevermore, and there's never going to be any challenges your way. Quite the contrary. You'll get those challenges, but you'll now have the tools to actually stop and say, well, no, that's okay. That's not forever. That's just how it is right now. And when I'm ready, I can get back on track and go from where I was, because I'm okay, I'm enough.
And that's the most important thing, you know, like being powerful is knowing that you can do it, you know, that nothing can stop you, that you can create the life that you truly want, and that you are the driver of your ship. And if life, you know, throws you a curveball, you're just going to deal with it. You're just going to handle it. But it's not going to stop you from moving forward. A lot of ladies don't have goals. And what we get you to do is to set new goals and create the life that you truly want to have. And yep, so you've got to write them down and you've got to keep them and you've got to be working. So you picture it first in your mind. Yeah. And how powerful did you think it was to see the other ladies in the program, like the ones ahead of you, and the ones who come in after you? Because what I found in the way that I put the program together was seeing ladies come in after us. It shows us how much we're growing and how much we've changed and how much we've, you know, transformed in the few weeks we've been in the program. And then we look at the ladies that are ready to graduate in week 9, 10, you know, and we see that how happy they are and how different and how wonderful they feel about themselves and their life. And it gives you hope that, you know, you're also going to get there, because you see everybody who goes before you, they're all successful. So, you know, how did you, coming into the program, most people are really scared, not sure if it's going to work for them. How did you find that process of seeing the transition and feeling it yourself as you went through the program?
Certainly, I think for me, the empathy in the group and hearing other people's stories and getting clarity around how people are interpreting the modules, I think was helpful. And it's interesting because as the newer people came through, sometimes they were questioning aspects of the model that I thought I understood, and then realised that I hadn't actually thought of it from that perspective. So just listening to others participate in that discussion and unpack some of the issues was helpful to deepen my understanding. So I think that kind of the different journeys that everybody was on helped solidify some thinking in modules that I thought I understood and had down pat. It was a good process.
Well done, Nieves. We're really looking forward to seeing, what the future brings for you. So anyway, we just wanted to celebrate. You're a graduate now of the Shine program, and we look forward to the next stage of your life. So well done.
Good on you. Thanks, Fiona. Have a great weekend.
Okay, excellent.